I'm honored to be here, to be a part of not only track and field history, but the history of the forest ranges as well. I think I saw one of my old friends, Smokey the Bear, around here somewhere earlier.
The 1968 Olympic Games in Mexico City were significant, both for the record set and for their place in the history of the fight for social justice. The athletes trained for the Games at Echo Summit, located on the Eldorado National Forest in California.
I hear many people talk about how great this team was. Well, the greatness came from this location. This place breathes, it sweats, it gets cold, it warms up, and more than anything, it manifests love. Because this is where the love and the bonding started amongst all of these individuals.
Recently, 11 of the former Olympians returned to help dedicate the site as a California historical landmark.
We are so honored and privileged to be here to honor this site and this team, generally regarded as the greatest track and field team in history.
We lived in trailers, outdoor toilet, showers, $2 a day. And how are you going to live off of that? Well, we did, but we were happy.
And how do you describe yourself now?
Senior citizens. We identify ourselves as senior citizens returned to the place where we competed years ago.
I'm 76. I love that. Do that again.
Come on.
One time in our lives, we were pretty, wasn't we?
Yeah.
We were handsome dudes.
Well, man, I usually let the girls call that. I would always just give them a big smile because I was always trying to be the rustic type. I didn't want to be too far.
Oh, you're rustic now.
The Echo Summit training site provided a high-altitude venue similar to what they would experience in Mexico City.
I remember we ran from over here one time to see what was going on, and we saw guys scrawl all along the track on the ground, and we trying to figure out what was wrong. We thought they had a sniper or somebody out here. Come to find out it was the altitude. And the same thing occurred in Mexico City. It affected some of the distance runners, but you know who it affected more than anybody? The photographers. The guys was running around with all the cameras in their neck. They was carrying them out on the cart more than the athletes.
I want to acknowledge the courage and leadership demonstrated so visibly by the Olympians who trained here before going to Mexico City. Their athleticism attracted the world's attention, and they then had the courage to direct that attention to a much larger issue for us in this country than their speed and their strength.
One of the iconic images of the civil rights movement was captured when Tommie Smith and John Carlos stood on the medal podium.
And, I think this particular environment kept us mellow and serene for what we had to do in Mexico.
Yeah.
We realized, all the time that we were up here training, what we were training for. The medals were great, but we had a greater mission.
We got together as black athletes up here at Tahoe and said, we're going to show the world that it doesn't matter what color you are. We're all Americans. And we're running for America, not for black people. We're running for black, white, green, yellow. If you're American, we're running for the United States of America.
Many ways they try and divide our team, talking about, well, these guys are civil rights activists, these guys are athletes, these guys are for boycott, these guys are not for boycott. I'm just here to let you know right now that we are one.
And I thank each of you, athletes, on behalf of the Forest Service, for what you did here 46 years ago.